The death in the family, so he's not here. Ms. Farkas Serra is here. Mr. Fiallo here. Ms. Gonzalez here. Ms. Iglesia here. Mr. Knickerbocker here. Ms. Ortiz. Anything from Nicole? No?
I heard from Julia that she copied the agenda.
Okay, all right, so Nicole's not here and Mr. Pies is not here either. Okay. All right, if we could please stand and say a pledge of allegiance to the flag and cover. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we'll take a short moment of silence for your own intentions. Very good, thank you. Please be seated. And we'll start with public comments. And we've been blessed with the presence of Mr. Carlos San Jose, who's an attorney who's representing Marines or any service member stationed in the Camp Lejeune area in North Carolina, and he's going to give some of the specifics of it. It's a class action lawsuit, I believe. So this way, you know, if people ask us as members of the Veterans Committee, we'll have a better sense of what to tell them and where to direct them. So please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Like you said, my name is Carlos San Jose. I'm a young attorney working with Mr. Oscar De La Rosa. So I'll just give you some background on this case. Recently, Congress passed what's called the Camp Lejeune Justice Act, which basically is looking for veterans who were in Camp Lejeune, which is located in North Carolina, anytime from 1957 to 1983. The only prerequisites to be able to qualify is that you needed to be at Camp Lejeune for at least 30 consecutive days within that time period. Unfortunately, a lot of the veterans who were there and exposed to the contamination in the water at the base have been experiencing anything from cancer to digestive issues, cognitive, decrease in cognitive abilities, and just terrible. And so my partner, Oscar De La Rosa, worked with the drafters of this legislation in Washington to ensure that our folks here in South Florida could benefit from this bill. And that's what we're doing, bringing some of that money down here to South Florida to our veterans. And if there are any of you in the room, thank you for your service, first and foremost. And we're here to fight for you. And so if you know of any veterans that might benefit from this, Mr. Pedro Fiallo has my contact information. But I wanted to be brief today and give you all some background. This is a resource that is critical, that is available. And so we should be able to bring some of that money to our folks, to some of you who have served in the armed forces here in South Florida. Thank you very much again for your time.
Yes. You mentioned before that besides Camp Lejeune, if we need anything in our veterans, you will help us?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's not limited to Camp Lejeune. It's just so right now, that's what we're focused on. However, we have been discovering throughout the process that many veterans have been exposed to other toxins throughout other bases, and that wouldn't be covered by the Camp Lejeune Justice Act. However, we are looking into other courses of action for those who can't benefit from this particular act. There could be other courses of action. So we are at your disposal, whatever you need. It's the least we can do for our veterans is to fight for them now and when they need us. So thank you again.
And then business cards, do you bring?
I
enough to
don't.
go
I
around?
said I'm a baby attorney, so they haven't printed my business cards yet. But Pedro has all my contact information. So thank you again very much.
All right,
Appreciate it.
thank you then, Carlos. Wish you the best with that. And we
Thank you.
certainly will refer any people. If you'd like to cut out, I mean, you're welcome to stay.
No,
You're
stay
more than
for a little
welcome,
bit,
but
absolutely.
I don't know how interesting it will be. Okay. The orders of business. Do we have people looked at the agenda to see if we need to add anything or take anything out? Yeah, can we, Pedro, can you please pass the agenda down? Okay, if not, then we'll move on to the adoption of the minutes from the July meeting. And I think those are attached as well. There were two changes. I don't know if we, yeah. So the two changes were the minutes you'll find on page 7. And I don't think we need to retype it. We'll just, we can cross through this and annotate it. Or if you need a clean copy, Jonathan, we can send it. But it says Veterans Committee, May 2022 meeting. It was the July meeting. So we'll strike May and put July. And in the roll call, Larry was not mentioned as present, although he was not mentioned as being absent either. But if we could include him in the present group, I think those were the only two changes. Do you need a clean copy on that, or? Okay. So that having been said, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from July 14th?
Second?
Okay, so, Mr. Knickerbocker gives us a motion to approve. Pedro seconded, and all in favor? Okay, the minutes are approved. All right, 9/11, that event is right around the corner. The fire station, the battalion chief that was involved last year, Chief Edwards, will be involved again this year, and he's going to bring his people out to support the event and also do the ringing of the bell ceremony. The bagpiper is unavailable. However, Carolina from Farmer Natural, the ones that are sponsoring the event, has pledged her violinist to be there, so he will be there again as well. The flags are going to be picked up by Larry and myself tomorrow from Farm and Natural. We're going to store them until the 10th of September, which is a Saturday. And Larry, what time did you want the volunteers out there on at 8 a.m. you said?
Yeah, yeah.
So water by 8 a.m. as well. My water.
Oh, okay, that would be
Before
nice.
after.
Yeah, thank you. Or 8:30 would be good. I mean, they're not going to be sucking it down the minute they get there.
Well, we say, yeah, exactly.
How
Pardon
many
me?
waters do you think for this one?
For the volunteers,
Yeah, the before and after. And
you know, we had, last year we had about 30 people. I think we probably went through about maybe 2 cases of water.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we were,
2-3 cases.
yeah, maybe,
Okay.
maybe 4 cases.
4 cases.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
You got
Thank
it.
you.
Yep.
Will that be cold or should we bring ice?
How do you want it? You want it
Of
cold?
course we want it cold, but
Okay,
if that's an inconvenience.
I can bring it cold. We have new coolers now that
Oh,
tops
yeah.
will fall off. I was like,
Awesome.
that's it.
Michael,
so I'm sorry, go ahead.
can we thank Judy for a donation of $100 to the Veterans Committee?
Oh,
Thank you.
what was the,
So headquarter Toyota is, well, I think I mentioned this early on in when I joined, that every car that's purchased from one of the referrals of the committee, we will give $100 to the committee.
oh,
I sent somebody
He
and
sent
she
somebody
bought
out.
already, so.
oh, wonderful.
So
Oh,
just
okay.
exactly keep track of that. and keep
Okay, so
bringing it to
headquarters
our-
Toyota, $100 donation. Well,
Yes.
thank you very much. And with a standing
Offer, yes.
offer to
Yep.
provide that. Well, that's really very kind. So thank you, and thank you to headquarters Toyota.
Our
for
pleasure.
doing
Thank
that.
you guys. Yeah.
Going back to the.
So, yeah, so we're on the 9/11, the park prep grass. We'll do that, Jonathan. It happened to us once or twice where we didn't cut the grass in a timely manner. So when we got out there, it was awful, but they're gonna need to do it the week before.
It actually, if you could do it closer to the 10th, because on the morning of the 10th, that's when we start planting the flags. And you have to push the little wooden things into the ground. And if the grass is cut, it goes between the blades real easily. But if it's too long, it's over like that makes it a lot tougher.
So the 9th or the 10th even, so. like-
Yeah, the 9th, the 10th,
Or the
the
8th.
morning of the 10th, the 8th would be
Yeah,
good.
well, only because if we wait till Friday and it rains, then they won't do it, and then.
Yeah, do the 8th.
And
Yeah,
then
that's-
another issue on
That's
that.
just something I'll
Pardon
communicate
me?
with Jeremy. That's something, he knows about that, or when events happen, he knows to cut. But again, I'll make sure to.
Yeah, I mean, very possibly, but we've just, it happened to us, so we always try to double check just to make sure.
Also, can I run a couple things by on the preparation?
Sure.
On the Memorial Day event, we didn't have an intercom or a microphone on the podium.
That's what I'm saying.
We need someone to make sure that we have power out there, but, and have, or somehow have, a podium with a speaker on it, the microphone.
We have, excuse me, because Jonathan hasn't been involved, but there's been there's two podiums and they're located in different places. One is kept there at the Mary Collins Center and it has a battery that needs to be charged, although there's been an index card on it saying don't charge it. Don't know if that means don't overcharge it or don't charge it at all. And then there's another one that's at the Royal Oaks Park, which was the one I think that was promised to, somebody was going to transport it, but making that linkage where somebody said not to worry and then actually getting somebody to bring it was an issue. And then, that the morning of it was too late.
Oh, we have a plan.
Pardon me?
Yeah, we use it already.
Oh, yeah, the generator.
We can use a generator.
Yep. So that was that was the other thing. So one of them has a battery that's kind of internal to the podium,
Yeah.
which makes it very nice. And then a previous event, we actually have a portable generator that belongs to the town, electric, and so, and that runs on battery. So we set that, a good distance, maybe 50 feet away, and then that powered the other podium that didn't have the battery. So
Yeah,
either one of those might be.
I'll just be in touch
options.
with one on that.
One is the one.
Yeah.
And the other thing was that we used to stream these events. They were streamed during when Brandon was here. All of the events were set up and he, streamed them. And then we stopped for a period of time. Would that be something that you'd be able to
Yeah, that's,
consider doing as the media?
yeah, that would be me.
And drone stream.
Yeah, the drone out there would be perfect.
It's a drone stream.
It was so
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, we have a lot of flags out there and they really look beautiful and it's, they are, they make a great picture.
I'll look into that. I've never heard of it.
Because you're gonna have fire
trucks.
trucks and police cars and 3,000 flags.
I have a drone.
Like, it makes it-
Oh, you do?
Is it like a
Yeah.
streamer? Can it,
Yeah.
okay, there you go.
I think
We have
you need,
volunteers.
in order to use a drone in a private park, you have to have a special license.
You have the license?
Oh,
She's a
no.
Boy Scout, like
No,
Puma.
no.
She's big, high up, lieutenant.
No.
Is that isn't that above a certain?
Colonel.
Above 50
No,
feet?
you can't even fly in a public park. You have to have it, you have to have a special
Do you
permit.
have a-
Yeah, national
Yeah,
parks,
you-
you
Yeah,
can.
you can't, any kind of drones whatsoever in parks. I'm very familiar with it.
But didn't you just say drone
Who's the
footage?
pilot of that?
You just brought it up and
Oh,
then you
you
said,
have a
then you
Yeah,
killed it?
you got the
No,
right
okay.
person, yeah, right.
Where'd she go?
FAA and go get some.
No, the town has a contract, I think, Donnie's to handle it. And he's licensed and he's allowed to do that. You have to have that certification.
If we're gonna bring him in, they've brought him in, Jonathan, I don't know if you're familiar with that name, he's done a couple of, you are familiar?
Yes, yes, yes.
And so we used our monies to pay for him to cover these events, and he didn't overcharge us. Would you
Yeah, I mean,
reach out to him?
yeah,
or-
we're in communication for a few things right now, so I'll bring that up to him.
Maybe $100 will help.
Yeah.
The,
Okay.
okay, the other thing was, the actual setting up of the flags, that has to be, in the past, you've been out there with the early in the morning. Bill has, if the volunteers start coming out at 8 o'clock, we want to have a head start and have the initial setup so they can go right to work when they get there. So we would need to be there like 7. If that's not too early, but that would be, it'd be cool that. It's not one. But
I've been waking up at
I don't
5:30,
know.
I just kind of.
it's nice and cool at that time, I'll bring coffee. I'll get a coffee.
But this would be, the expectation would be that this would be a communal event for all the committee members to arrive at that time?
The ones that want to volunteer to help set it up, not everyone, it's up to them.
Okay.
But we need, 3-4 people it takes to really measure, what it takes, get out there with the measures, mark it off, get the first few lines going, and then 8 o'clock when the volunteers start to arrive, they can go right to work, they're not standing around waiting for us to tell them where to put them.
Are the young Marines coming?
I believe they are, I'll double check with Bill, that's a good idea, they will be involved, I think.
In the volunteer
They love
portion.
setting it.
Pretty sure.
You better come.
Mike's been the keynote speaker at the ceremony itself, he's done a great job in the past.
Yeah, I would be, I mean, I certainly don't, the chief was the keynote speaker, actually. I think I just served as the MC. Well, he really did. And last year, we had all the officials from the town, they all added something, which I thought was.
Now,
really-
have we officially invited the officials? Has anybody reached out to them? Is that something that we would do or?
Yeah, where does that come from? What happened to us last year, Jonathan, which was a little bit disruptive, was because this was a local 9/11 event. We got a lot of add-ons at the last minute, which, without naming, a lot of officials, elected officials showed up kind of unbeknownst to us, and then we were trying to accommodate them by, giving them some time to speak.
But it worked out great.
Well, if we can, but we can
Yeah.
improve it
If we could
by
improve
inviting
it.
them ahead of time
Put them
so
on
that,
the program.
yeah, right.
We had the bell ring was supposed to take place at the time the first tower was hit.
Right.
Then we're supposed to have the military flyover. But what happened, the speakers talked over into that time, and the timing was all off on that. No one noticed it. It was beautiful, but we could have made it better. Just like the flags weren't aligned like they should have been the year before. They were good, but it could have been better. I mean, we're better than that.
So could
Right.
we send some invites out?
Yeah, that is a standard process, I think, with some, like a ribbon cutting, everyone gets
Yeah,
invited, so I think that's a.
And we need to get back to
Yeah,
Mike so he can coordinate the speaking and let them know, when they're up to speak and how
Right.
much time it's going to be.
Exactly.
And also, and what about the military flyover? Are we going to do that again?
No.
No?
And I get a kind sponsorship form for the water, so that we don't get moved off the program by accident.
And then we had a couple of, these were a couple of the programs that we had previously. Jonathan, I could give you, if you want to see them, since I think in the past you've, or your predecessors have put them together. So the Patriot Day, that was 2021, and then that other one I think was perhaps a year before, 2020.
Can we go back to the volunteers?
Yeah, please. Sure.
Who actually is going to be there? You're going to be there?
I'll be there, yeah, of course, yeah.
Mario?
I'll be there.
I'll Bill Card and Bill is going well. Yeah. We're good. We're awesome.
What about the taking note, because we've not done a very good job with when we get volunteers like the kids, trying to get them to credit because some do it for hours.
Sign in.
Yeah,
We need to do, I believe we sent them letters in the past.
Yeah.
They can put it in their folder for their college application.
but I'm saying like Lourdes, you did that very well at the
For the
Veterans Day
parade.
for the parade.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be around later in the day at the 10th of September? Would you
9 a.m.
mind
Yeah.
serving as the volunteer coordinator and we'll
I can-
direct them to you?
Yeah,
She
of
did
course.
before.
Yeah, no, I know, she did, yeah.
Yeah.
Where we
And
slipped
I can
up, too.
create a sign in unless the city gives it to me, but I
Okay.
can
We
create
slipped
a
up
sign in.
last year. We didn't get all their names down there until afterwards. We were chasing it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some of them left.
Right,
I got them when they got in, but I didn't get them when they got
Yeah.
out, but more or less, everybody left at the same time.
yeah, okay.
At that time, the city took care of it for the end, to give them the letters and stuff, but I did take care of.
Bye, nice meeting
it.
you.
All right,
And then I gave it to Kyle.
okay.
I can do that.
So that way, it'll be easy when you don't have to be there right at the beginning, but, maybe by 9, we
Yeah,
can say,
yeah.
oh, please, go, go. and
Yeah,
make sure
and
you
then we'll
sign in.
decide where we're gonna put the sign in, and they can come
You
in.
think earlier, 8?
I'm sorry.
I was saying that Lourdes would be fine to get there at 9, because, nobody's gonna come at, they'll be hard pressed to get them there at 8 exactly, and they're not gonna come at 8 and leave at 8:55, so.
Right, we've had a couple of guys just came in to say their hellos as each other was gone.
Yeah.
And, we like.
I can be there early, I don't care, but
What's convenient? Nine's fine. If you're gonna come earlier, we'd like to. see
I'll
this.
say 9, but I can be there
You
earlier.
gotta help her, right? Maybe you help her.
I will bring my helper.
Mhm.
I have a new helper.
Okay. All right, Larry, do you have anything else with the, because are we gonna meet again before the event? Conceivably.
That's what I'm
When they
thinking.
canceled, we had that, it was the Labor Day weekend and that.
That's
got
something I
canceled.
wanted to address.
We put it, we bookmarked it.
Right, we want to set up, I know we already had meetings in the past, obviously, on, the second, Thursday or Tuesday. I wanted to establish going forward what that meeting date is gonna be. I think it should be on the second Thursday of the month.
I love it.
That drops us on September 8th. That will meet again.
Yeah, all right.
That would be good.
Yeah.
That'd be like a.
Is that okay?
Last minute.
Yeah, then we will.
We originally we had gone with the first, so then we had a full month to work through our issues
Right.
and catch the council meeting, because by having it the second, we were always falling behind the council, so we had to wait another month and a half to get on the council, but I think that's not a bad idea.
When's the
Second Thursday,
When's the council meeting?
The next one would be September.
it's like the second Tuesday of every month.
Yeah, that's it.
Are we gonna?
Oh,
meet
so
again
it's gonna be
before?
after. Because that's the second Tuesday to the 13th, so we will be before.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
13th,
All right.
13th.
We'll get lucky for another.
Yeah.
couple months.
So then we're gonna meet when, on the 8th?
Yes.
So, right, so
Which-
are we're
Is
establishing?
that a Thursday?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
Well, then that would probably have to be done before then, because I think we're getting to end of year monies.
Yeah.
They'll have to be spent.
But we're establishing second Thursday of the month going
Yeah.
forward
Sounds good.
on the 8th.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get somebody to bring some donuts to the volunteers.
I tried to that.
Okay,
Couple of dozens.
yeah. I mean, if kids are
the early
particularly like that.
After that, it will be second Thursday every month.
Going forward,
Oh, good.
because since I'm taking over,
Yeah, we had it,
The
we did
committee,
have
I
an
know
established
I'll-
day, but we got off.
because the email that you got today, and I don't want to drag this on too long, you know, for time purposes, that canceled all the ones that she had going forward. So this was, you know, starting now what we're
Oh,
gonna do.
okay.
So
Well, that's
And,
second,
and we can do it at 6:30?
Canceling today.
that's why I didn't realize. Sorry, excuse me.
There's, the 6:30, second Thursday is open.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've already checked. I have my calendar here because I know we want to do something
Okay,
as
good.
well. So
All right.
6:30 to 8.
For me?
Those 90 minutes.
We have in the past, but, yeah, let's go ahead. Mario just made a motion to accept, the second Thursday of every, month.
Second.
Seconded by, Larry Borman. So, motion by Mario, seconded by Larry. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes. So it'll be the second Thursday of every month.
I'd like to make a request. Those little recorders, it would make Mario's job so much easier. It's I don't think they're that expensive, maybe $50, $100, whatever. Or a little recorder.
The phone, the voice number, no?
Well, it's a nice because they're very small and you just lay it down and it records the whole meeting. So that, you know, it's easier to go on YouTube and trying to look it up.
Well, it depends. Would
Oh, I
you,
never do
would you, yeah, do you, would
that. Oh, okay,
you,
so
would
that
you,
one, okay.
I mean, was that something you would, do you want to use it or not use it?
No, it's good because.
Yeah.
I mean, because when we get it, and Mario says, yeah, that's great, but I really don't need it. Thank
Well,
you.
let's get it.
No, I
And then we'll always have these
Just to
recordings.
check the number.
And we'll always have, if we have to look something up for the meeting, whatever, to make sure.
Absolutely.
we're-
Voice notes are really hot, though. You can like share them and stuff. They're really cool on that phone, voice notes, voice memo.
And will it can record for an hour or
Sure.
two? Yeah,
Well, this-
okay. And then we have this, although,
I don't even.
Voice memo, yeah.
Yeah.
It's an
and we have these
It comes
YouTube
with Apple,
videos.
yeah.
You gotta understand, it's old folks, you know.
Yeah, okay, let's, next, Larry, anything else for
Voice
September
memos, it's called.
9/11? Because we have a couple of other things we need to get to.
Can't think of anything at the moment. Unless anyone else has any.
And, yeah, do we have any sponsors? Is that something that, we've received sponsorship for, other than Farm and Natural?
I don't, that's what I was gonna confirm. Yeah, this is the sponsor, right? Farm Natural.
We have anybody can I tell you to call you?
They were?
They were.
Probably Iowa. Or Iowa.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, but I think, I honestly think, we talked about this before, on certain memorial type events, like Memorial Day, and 9/11, you know, outside sponsorship, advertising, things like that. I mean, if they want to sponsor the Quiet Way, just donate towards it. But as far as them using it for promotion of the company or advertising, it's a Memorial Day event, and I don't think it's appropriate. But,
Hmm.
I don't know who set it up, but it was it.
Yeah, I don't know this event, I think, because they're providing all of the flags. I don't know if we really need other sponsors.
They brought the advertising trucks on the lawn a couple years
Yes, they
ago,
were.
and we objected to it, and said
They had a tent.
it wasn't appropriate.
You know, for that particular event, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, at the time we were-
Oh, and there's one other thing I thought, the young man that just, the
It's not
the,
even.
police detective, it was just.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe in your case.
Ezzy, is it correct?
Give him a little special mention.
On the September 11th?
This person's
Yeah,
sponsored.
it's a-
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the second Sunday.
Okay, next item then is the Veterans Monument. I had received a note from Isle and wanted to know where we were at with that. Jonathan, have you picked that up at all? We have the monument. There was the monument that we priced originally was $8,500. When we went to town council, we said we'd like for you to approve this monument, recognizing that, you know, we haven't cost them out yet, so we might get one cheaper, but this one is $8,500, so we're requesting $10,000 to cover the monument and the pedestal. There's another monument by a renowned artist, Richard Rist is his name. And his monument is $6,000.
Same size?
Same, you know, roughly the same size, actually a little bit more intricate. And that would then give us the money for the pedestal and the installation, and the Richard Rist monument they also will do the plaques. So they'll provide the plaque then that would go on the pedestal, and that's, I think, $600. But given the fact that the monument or the sculpture itself is reduced, it will then pay for the plaque and the installation and the pedestal. So, you know, the town was willing to just kind of, for information purposes. So the gentleman that we originally considered, Richard Young was his name in Utah. Now there's another artist, Richard Rist is his name, and he's in Virginia. Pardon me? RIST. If you look him up on Google.
So the town already approved it?
Yeah,
Done?
yeah,
Council's done?
yeah.
Goody.
Yeah, so I just need to, we need to do the actual,
Right.
you know, payment
Order and-
purpose, you know.
I haven't had any
Yeah.
information on that, but
No, no.
I'll follow up with that.
Yeah, please, if you want to take the lead, or I don't know, do we work with her? Well, we'll figure it out.
I think it might be better with her because
Yeah.
to an extent, it's cultural affairs involved in this.
No.
With this statute, no.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
then
they're
that'll
not,
be
yeah.
mostly the meeting.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so the Veterans Parade, that's November 6th. Is a Sunday preceding the event, and I think we're about ready to go into the subcommittee. September is for sure, because we need to do the grand marshal nominations, and we need to get sponsors and start putting it together, and it will take, you know, a good couple of months, so. And then these are the types of things that you see on your list on page 10, that lists in the agenda, you know, the kinds of things that we're going to have to address. Which we don't need to go into now, but recognizing that it's time for the subcommittee. So perhaps we could do that before the end of this meeting. Look for some dates.
I have all the dates. I have my
Okay.
calendar here.
And unlike we formed the subcommittee for the run that Judy is in charge of. That doesn't really require a lot of other people, you know, currently for the subcommittee, you know, we'll do it. And then the police need to get involved, but the other committees
Right.
don't have a big play. But the Veterans Day Parade does include a lot of the other committees, not necessarily the committees themselves, but the people that are in those committees are the institutional knowledge, because, you know, as you've seen, Judy, nothing is, it's all word of mouth. And so a lot of what we do and what we've done is dependent on the person that did it last year telling us what they did. So we did a little bit better last year with the Veterans Parade. We've captured it, but there's still, you know, some of the pros that have done it. When I say pros, I mean, they've done it 20-something years. They've been the parking lot attendant, or they've been the DJ, or they've been the, you know, the people that have, you know, like last year you did the volunteers, Lord.
Last year was very well.
Yeah, so last year was fantastic because we got started early and we pulled all those people in. But if we could, Jonathan, before, then we'll have to get that out to the other committees, identify when that will be. Okay.
We could, I mean, sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
but we could vote on it now if we'd like, because I do have the dates.
So September, perhaps after the 11th, obviously, because, you know, we'll be kind of busy with that, but then maybe that following.
That entire week is open. That's pretty, well, not the Monday, I lied. Monday, 7 PM, that's taken, so, but Tuesday through Friday, it's essentially open. This room is open. So we have Tuesday the 13th through Friday the 16th. In the evenings, it's completely open. So it's really,
How about the Thursday?
we can do it the
Was
Thursday.
that
If I, if.
The 15th
Thursday the
at 6:30?
At 6:30.
September 15th, what time?
What's
6:30?
the Veterans
6:30.
Day Parade Subcommittee?
Right, that's a
And-
subcommittee.
Full 90 minutes, right? Full 90.
I don't know,
September
maybe
I
go
mean,
ahead and
only because
block-
there are so
yeah,
many
block
things
it
that
out.
need to be covered.
Yeah, block, but because then,
And I'll block it out.
yeah, we'll be identifying who's gonna be doing what,
Sure.
and then, you know, we're not gonna be doing a lot of legwork, but that one then we'll have another one like the first week of October, you know, then they'll be coming kind of fast and furious, actually,
So the subcommittee would be for the parade.
for the parade.
And
Because we need to do the grand marshal nominations by,
Right.
certainly by
September
like the,
15, 6:30.
you know, the first week.
Yeah,
in
6:30.
October.
I was hoping
6:30.
that flow a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
so,
Larry had brought something up, which I thought was actually a very good idea. and talked about a float, having a float in the parade, kind of going bigger, which at first I thought, it's a small little town thing, we don't. But beyond that, the veterans, every year, those guys are getting older. And you see them, with their walkers, with their canes, and then trying to find a vehicle to take some of them that can't walk anymore. And it seemed, like a great idea to be able to honor them, or we could put them on the float itself, rather than have kind of a ragtag group of guys hobbling along, just, you could put them on the float and really, honor them a bit more than, with a float. And I think it's, you price it, Larry, about $3,000.
Actually, well, that's one company. This is an idea, the type of float we're talking
I
about.
think
This
we have
isn't
somebody, I
decorated.
talked to Gary, that it's $1,000 already.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
We have somebody with $1,000, so I tried to get some more.
So then, the 15th at 6:30, you guys want to vote on that?
Can we?
Yes,
Do that
oh, okay,
then.
I'll do a motion. I motion that we have the Veterans Parade Subcommittee meeting on September
Second.
15th at 6:30. Seconded by Pedro.
Who is in the
And then-
subcommittee?
And basically, all of us are in the subcommittee.
I think a chair does.
Yeah, it's the Veterans Committee event.
Okay.
So what we did last year is we tried to get people out into the parade, but it really left the backside support very thin. And so we had issues because we didn't have people to, address the issue. So
So would you like to chair that committee?
Yes, please.
I believe you need to vote.
we
all
voted
that.
on that already.
Okay, you did?
Yeah, we voted on it 2 meetings ago. Yes, and the co-chair was Mr. William Knickerbocker.
I was hoping Mr. Knickenbocker, being the engineer and with his experience in design and artistic abilities,
Larry,
would help us,
this is the one at $3,000?
would help lead us in designing the
Oh,
float.
that's the float?
That's the flow.
Well, that's just one style float, yes.
Oh,
Really?
You-
but
what
this is
they
the
do
one
is
they charge you 3,000?
The company, well, there's different ones. The companies that supply those, okay, they decorate the float, they put the skirt on everything else. But what actually goes on the float, okay, or the final touches are us. Example, if the battlefield crosses here, well, why not put the battlefield cross on the float? I mean, it can be. And then we could have whatever, if we wanted to have the grand marshal, but not necessarily maybe the right course separately, but maybe other dignitaries or whoever on the float. And also reach out to veterans. If you remember in the previous years, the people that actually marched in the parade, they weren't all from Miami Lakes. They were guys from the American Legion, even the VFW. They were there. And, the idea of that float being for veterans, regardless, in our area.
And one thing we're gonna have this year is this.
It's big.
Fred, they're gonna have so many vehicles
Yeah.
to give it to us, because I'm pretty sure.
Well,
even to
we're
your
using the
guys,
Jeeps again.
I know.
Yeah, so he didn't give us any, I don't think, or he gave us
Yeah,
maybe
it
a
was
couple.
15.
No, but they were the Jeeps.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't use any of the auto
So it's
models
gonna be,
vehicles. It's gonna be the Jeeps.
I'm
again.
pretty sure they have a problem with cars. They don't have so many cars.
Yeah.
But the idea-
He bowed out because there were no vehicles.
Yeah.
And we,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
And-
pretty sure, yeah.
and we used the Jeeps, and the guys that did the Jeeps committed to doing the
Yes,
parade
yes,
again.
that's it. Yeah, very
So
nice.
obviously, that's part of our coordination is to make sure they're available.
And I was speaking with Willie Sanchez this morning, well, everything is Willie, right?
Yes.
I was speaking to Willie this morning, and, Willie thought he loved the idea, he goes, oh, we should have done it years ago. And, the town of Hialeah, they have floats in their parades, they have different parades throughout the year, they have
They
floats.
own one?
I don't know all the details on it, but Willie was supposed to, George just came back from vacation, the guy that's in charge of that, from Hialeah, and he's supposed to get back with us and let us know what exactly we need regarding those floats or what.
With the thought being that they would loan us their float, or that we would copy and buy, go through the same vendor, and what were you thinking?
One or the other, I'm not sure.
Listen, I'm gonna meet with him on Monday,
Okay.
so I'm gonna ask him.
Mhm.
Monday around 11, I should be with him.
Okay,
So I'm
and then we
gonna
can revisit
ask him. If
this.
they can help, yes.
But
And Carlos is the, he probably can help us too.
I asked Carlos today about
So-
that, and he knew George, he knows it, knows the
So
process.
he can help us.
So maybe we could flesh out the details a little bit. When we meet again in September, then we'll still have time to make a motion if we need to finance this thing.
Yeah, it needs to take time, we need funding, plus it takes time preparation.
Okay. What's the deadline? Because the parade is the
One of the-
6th of
One of the
November.
companies wants, needs a minimum of 60 days if they're available.
Okay.
So, because they have all their planning too.
Mm.
And they actually provide the insurance, the truck that it pulls, and all the stuff that goes along with it. So I think it's more complicated than just getting some towing out. You gotta have, insurance. This is
Mike,
like-
give me your number, I'll call you Tuesday,
Okay.
I'll be with him Monday and I ask him.
Okay.
So whatever he says, I'll call you
Yeah.
Tuesday.
And well, Larry actually lives right next door to him as well. So,
So,
yeah. Thank you, Pedro.
And there's one more thing I wanted to mention while we're on this. And it's about that cow, about a sergeant.
Time to move.
You know, we walked by the other day and saw, one of these cows and got up close. I never really got up close to one. I seen them riding by, I saw some kids trying to push it over one day. And those cows are kind of flimsy and they don't look real secure on the ground. And I don't know how good that would be in the park. Because, I think that we should look at that and look into that before we.
I motion to table the cow for a little bit, because we're gonna get the Battlefield Cross, and I think that's a beautiful piece for that park.
Well, I think that we need to look into it further. I
Yeah.
agree.
For sure.
yeah,
So we have a motion to table the cow
Table the cow.
temporarily.
Yep.
I second.
Okay. All in favor?
All right.
Very good. So now let's move on to the holiday run. Judy, if you would care to
Ready to
give
rock.
us the update.
Yes.
The reindeer one?
Well, okay, so I put my notes and I tasked my advertising company to come up with some names, and they kind of were slow, and then we went rogue a meeting or two ago and did it. So we all voted, and I think in our meeting said that it is the Headquarter Toyota's Reindeer Run.
Oh, is that what you came
That's
up
what
with?
we ended up, you guys, us,
Okay,
that's what we came up with, which is fine. That's fine, if everybody's still fine.
Although the discussion today, because we were a little unsure if it was Reindeer Dash, Reindeer Run,
Reindeer
and
Run.
okay, so
Like the
that's what
running
you're
of
going
bulls,
with?
which kind
Okay.
of still
yeah,
works
I
with
think
your,
someone threw out like running.
We're running with the
up
reindeer, like a take on the running with the bulls.
We're
Except
wearing
running with the
wear
reindeer.
antlers.
Yeah, we're all wearing antlers. Yeah, that was the
we're gonna
idea.
try, we're gonna
Yeah.
try that, that's in the plan. So do we want to do
So running with the reindeer,
Headquarter Toyota's running with the reindeer? Do we like
I
that
think that
better?
sounds a little
Reindeer
catchy.
Run sounds good.
I do like Ranger Run because it's like
Kinda
syllables,
nice.
it's very
It's short.
distinct.
Mm,
You put it on any.
But I do like the,
yeah, the running with the reindeer.
I do like the visuals of the.
Come to
reindeer.
Miami Lakes,
It is
the
cute.
running of the reindeer, Miami Lakes running of the reindeer. Almost sounds like, but. What do you guys think? Running with the reindeer or reindeer run? It's kind of the same.
Reindeer Run.
Reindeer Run is short and sweet, but it doesn't really have much pizzazz to it.
Like, a lot of people get bored running with the bulls.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do
You know,
that.
I mean, that way people will be coming, they'll have, the running of the bull, running of the reindeer. You know,
Anyone?
I think the general consensus is running.
Reindeer Run?
reindeer run.
Reindeer Run, yeah.
You sound disappointed.
Yeah, just, it
You like
doesn't,
the-
doesn't really inspire, the Miami Lakes reindeer run.
Like a rowing.
Yeah,
We're
maybe.
growing.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so ready?
All right, when you see all those reindeer
Headquarter
running,
Toyota's Reindeer
it
Run.
will make
Right,
sense.
Okay.
Yeah, reindeer run. Okay.
So the next, I think, item we should really talk about and get sorted out is the charity of choice
Oh, right.
for the, I'm hoping my goal and budget is to end up with 25,000 through and through at the end of this. That's my ultimate goal.
Yeah. And so we need to, and just for historical reference, a couple of years ago when we did, I think in 2018, we were newcomers at that point,
That
but
was
they,
NPS that year.
Yeah.
This was 1 year manufacturers.
okay, and they gave the Fisher House, they divided the check in two, and they gave Fisher House $8,000, and they gave another charity,
NPS superheroes. Yeah.
okay, $8,000. And the Fisher House, while being very grateful, they said, "Oh, thank you." But we found out after the fact, because however the decision was made to give it to them, that they received, millions of dollars in funding. And so the $8,000, we realized that year, was really not going to, was really insignificant.
Well, somebody was gonna resource the book that has the charities that are vetted already. We talked about that with William Perez.
I think, didn't we go one step further with that?
Well, we did,
I thought-
so then the following year, what we did, realizing that was problematic, was everybody nominated, hey, I know, the petting, the service animals, maybe helping the service animals, because typically once they're done their military career, they put them to sleep. And so people would say, hey, here's an opportunity where we can, grant them a second life and a home, and they get, kind of whatever the, PTSD issues, they deal with those and give them to a family. And so we ended up going, and we provided about 4 different charities. Ed Pies took it on, looked it up in the charity book and found out which ones were, vetted, which ones had been, had big dollar donors, and who were the little guys. And that's how we ended up with that Fishing with America. And they got the next year, they got the full $17,000, which is outrageous, but they do great work and they really, utilize that money. So going forward, we hadn't, and what we did those couple of years, everybody talked about it. And so the race was over and we still haven't really decided who we were going to give the money to, which was a bit of a problem. And then we kind of rushed it at the end just to give somebody a check. So we had talked about taking this money and using it for the park. No, right. So we had talked about, because that was mentioned at the council meeting, when I think it was council member Marilyn Ruano had said, hey, why don't you use, the money that you generate from your run, why don't you use that to pay for some of the things that you want to put in the park? So we kind of had that in the back of our minds. And then Mr. Cardenas Claricel mentioned at the meeting that Judy chaired today, that, a lot of people do go to the run because they want to do something for the veterans, not buy a monument.
Yeah.
And so, she said, we probably should be very transparent if that's what you want to do, say that, this is to benefit the Veterans Park rather than leave it kind of loose. And I think Judy's thought was, what, we're not doing it to buy monuments, we're doing it to help veterans. So let's keep it, centered on what we had originally said, which was, let's donate it to a worthy veterans group.
As low as possible.
Yeah, and then behooves us then to identify who that would be, and let's vet them and identify them before the race, and we'll do, all of our legwork. So the idea being, by the next meeting, we would have some sense of who we're gonna give it to.
I got an idea. I just wanted to add something to that. I think, one of the things that we hadn't had in the past, or we did have, and it was as an agenda. And the agenda back then was PTSD, if you remember. Naeem brought that about. And we decided, it's a much broader scope than just PTSD. And the biggest thing.
You mean a mission statement?
A mission statement.
Yeah, like this
Right, a mission
this
statement.
committee is here to
Right.
support veterans with.
And support veterans in our town primarily, but all veterans, but veterans in our town. And the biggest thing that we can do, like right now, the military's having problems and they can't get enough recruits, so we're under, people don't want to join. And I think the biggest thing that we could do, and what other charities do, is bring about an awareness. And awareness is, in fact, what was the word?
A cause.
Agenda, a cause.
Oh, the mission statement.
An agenda, awareness is a mission statement. By making people aware of veterans, what they've done and what they have. This is why you do put a monument. So to use the money, like Marilyn suggested, for something that would bring about an awareness, honor to our present military, our past military, and inspire people for our future military, would be a good cause. It'd be appropriate, and it would be right here in our town in Miami Lakes, not given off to somebody somewhere else. I mean, that's my thoughts on it, and I would hope that you give it. Just think about it a little bit before we decide to give the money away to someone else.
Okay.
So that was a good
Yeah.
point.
It is a good point. It's a really good point. I hope that would resonate of the masses. The ones, the 1,000 people that are in attendance, right? This run, or the 875 with attrition.
And to your point, the one, although I thought that was a very noble idea to support veterans that have issues, you were right in one respect, in that when we throw it into a larger national group, like Wounded Warriors, do great work, or Towers, the Heroes to Towers of that organization builds homes that are, help veterans that have, disabilities, of lost limbs. That sounds fantastic, but it's not doing anything in this
We built
town.
those groups, the amount of
Yeah.
money they actually get out of it, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
9% actually goes towards building houses.
Yeah, no.
Well, that was the other thing. A lot of those have a big overhead
Yeah.
and yeah, and so they're top heavy. So the actual veteran is getting a fraction of our small, stipend that we're giving them. So Judy, we can consider this, like maybe take some time to think about it, maybe. Because we don't have to decide today, because we don't have the organizations that we would donate it to. But we could probably take that for homework and say, consider giving it to an organization, vice consider giving it to the town to do something here in the town, i.e. at the park. But the only thing about doing it at the park is then we kind of let, the town off the hook because we're getting money from the outside. And so the town kind of going back to, some of the other things is, we honor our veterans, but we honor our veterans through our sponsors is kind of the message. And that's not what they mean. I know that's not what they mean. It's just that, money being tight, people will defer to the sponsors to provide the money rather than providing it from the taxpayers. And the whole idea of this being a veteran-friendly town is that the people that live here really appreciate the veterans. It's not headquarters Toyota or the auto mall that's appreciate, but the people that live here appreciate veterans. So yeah, I felt when we did the banners, or some of the other events, not necessarily the banners, but it would be incumbent to kind of put the burden on the people that live here to say, yes, I think this is worthwhile, rather than the generosity of our sponsors who, without, whom we wouldn't have any of these things.
Well, the theme of the headquarters Toyota Reindeer Run would still be to benefit veterans. That would be the whole idea. And it's just how we're defining how exactly we want to benefit them and where we get the most bang for the buck.
And how we can say it, like
Yeah,
proceeds from the run are gonna go to the park.
yeah,
Or-
because
No,
Or the, something.
No,
that
To
goes-
benefit veterans.
I mean,
well-
that's enough.
well, that was
Because there's so many facets. You get disabled veterans, you could have PTSD veterans, you could have veterans of foreign wars, you get veterans of, there's a lot of different things, veterans, and this is enough money to spread it around. But just by saying to benefit veterans, and of course, our underlying agenda would be, would be for us to create a visibility, just to make an awareness of veterans.
Well, Clarisol's point, she mentioned that specifically, Larry, and she said, because some of the previous events, the monies and the proceeds have gone specifically to help ailing veterans, to help with the PTSD. She said that if we were to change that now, we would have to go, be above and beyond just the, benefit veterans, which I thought was acceptable. She said, it might be a little bit, it would be deceiving perhaps, or seen as being deceiving if we were saying this is to benefit veterans and then use the money to put, a cow in the park. So she said, if we're gonna do that, she said, our messaging has to be, she felt a little bit more specific than benefiting veterans, like benefiting veterans how?
Well, how would you recommend it?
Well, I think we can think about it, because I know we only have about 10 minutes left before we have to give up the room. So, I'm sorry, Judy, please
That's
can
okay.
you
So we
continue
have
with?
an event that's done,
Yeah.
and then
Since you're the
decide-
major sponsor, maybe you would give us some extra.
I'm gonna give it a thought, yeah, absolutely, no, I will. I think we've covered it, the design logo, we're gonna finish, I think, now with the reindeer run, and maybe something that looks like the running of the
Oh,
bulls, but it's running the reindeer, could be really cool.
It'll be good meeting.
Yeah, this was the medal from, this was the Jingle Bell Jog medal that had, the kind of multicolored, and these were generic, for all of the Jingle Bell Jog, which I know probably a lot of people have it. And then this was, I got this in the mail from Crown because we had done a plaque for somebody, and so I don't know why they sent this, but I thought, oh, we could get, something like this from them, depending on how much the race guy wants to charge us. And then this was the Hollywood, I think the last time I put on a pair of sneakers was, this thing. But, that was kind of, just a couple of examples. This was kind of a fun thing, for the kids, I thought.
Mhm.
And originally when we were talking about the running with the reindeer thing, I sent a couple of you a picture, which I don't have. I think I sent it to you, Larry, and you as well, Bill. You see a group of reindeer kind of coming out. So I thought putting, whether we go with a cartoonish figure but it's kind of on us to come up with the idea of Judy's going to be,
Or the town actually did it
yeah, I was
Isles
gonna,
gonna
right,
get
but
on that
she wants
visit.
us to give it, it's not just, we do the reindeer run and we get what we get, it's actually, they're giving us the creative license to come up with something, so.
And then they'll do it, send it back to us. So
Yeah.
maybe we want to have put a subcommittee meeting on the calendar, or should we wait?
We can.
And then
Well,
we'll,
it depends on how quickly you want to do it.
okay,
Maybe in September as well?
Yeah.
That's probably a good idea. Although again, with this run, much of what's being done is our committee. So we could consider elongating our meeting instead of, an hour,
on
give
the
it
8th.
a 2-hour meeting. No. The key component is you,
The
obviously.
8th I'm traveling.
Yeah, all right. So then we'll have to put it in another, while you're looking at that, let me see. So the cow we addressed already. Oh, that's the landscaping, Jonathan.
Right.
Anything with that?
Nothing since, all I know is Jeremy's trying to free up funds since it's the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
Oh, and December 10th is in stone, guys, for the run. December 10th,
Oh, which is a Saturday.
Saturday.
So that's the one we chose.
Yep, that's the one they chose.
Perfect.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's good.
What time of day?
So 8 AM is run time.
Okay.
7:50 is national anthem with the marching band.
And you did the one a couple of years ago, I think you said, or the one before?
I
that?
actually did, both. I
19.
did 19 and 18.
July 19.
I was
You know,
titled-
And they had that snow machine,
Yeah,
that was a
the
lot of
one
fun, but
starts at
it
8,
made it
but
really
the
slick
national
where,
anthem
so
starts
something
at
maybe
7:50.
shooting it off to the side or something.
So if the national anthem is at 7:50 and it starts at, the run starts at 8?
Yeah,
You mean the run where they come and register or the
no, that's
run
the
itself?
run.
Yeah, run already.
Okay,
No.
and they will have been registered before.
Oh, yeah, where you had, and that was more of our talks too. We'll talk more. We're going to have pre-registration, packet pickups at headquarters Toyota
Okay.
on the Thursday and Friday, because we have just a lot of space. I remember packet pickup in the, on Main Street was tough. It's hard to park. We have plenty of people. I can fully staff it.
Great.
Yeah, it'll be really easy.
So
to
did
do.
you guys want to set up?
Yeah,
a
let's set up
subcommittee?
a subcommittee, because we're gonna eat up a whole meeting.
So we have our regular committee meeting on the 8th,
The event will be on the 11th, the 10th, on the 8th is our meeting, on the 10th is the flag, volunteers putting the flags on the ground on the
and we have,
11th.
so we have
is
the 15th for
We have
the,
the 15th for the subcommittee meeting for.
yeah, the 15th
Veterans
is,
Parade.
Do you
the
think
veteran
we can
parade.
share the subcommittee, like, can we do a half and half, or no?
That's what I said.
Well,
I think it's
the
better-
people that were here for the Veterans Parade,
But
for
that's
the
all
other
of us.
committees, were gonna be, yeah, they're not gonna be interested in the run.
No,
Yeah,
okay,
So
okay.
what about Tuesday?
Tuesday the
13th?
13th,
Or the following week, because that's gonna be a busy
the 20th,
week,
22nd?
yeah.
So the,
20th or the 22nd?
there's a Thursday, which is the 22nd, but
Thursday,
the
22nd.
problem with that is there's a meeting at 7 PM here.
How about Tuesday the 20th? Is
Yeah,
that open?
Tuesday,
Tuesday the 20th, I have EDC that day, 5:30 to 7.
How about Wednesday the 21th?
we could do it at
If we're
7.
out of here by 8:30, we're fine.
On Wednesday or Tuesday?
On Wednesday, the
Yeah.
21st,
Out by 7:30?
by 8:30.
Oh, yeah.
Plenty of time.
Yeah, Wednesday, 6:30.
So Wednesday the 21st,
Wednesday 21 at 6:30.
6:30 to 8,
November, right?
Yes,
September,
September.
September,
right, 9/21.
no, that's a September, the holiday run is December 10th,
And this is
but the
subcommittee
subcommittee
for the
meeting is gonna
run.
be September 21st
21
at
5:30?
We can do 5:30,
I love
Oh, we all
5:30.
part of
5:30
the
to 7.
We're all who wants to be and love everybody to be.
Yeah.
So 9/21,
5:30.
9/21, 5:30 to 7.
Yes.
That's fine with me.
And I'll send you both reminders for each subcommittee,
Okay.
if you guys want to vote on that.
Yes,
I motion to have a
okay,
subcommittee meeting on September 21st at 5:30.
Second.
seconded by Pedro, motion by Judy, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
And for both subcommittees and the regular meeting, I'm gonna be messaging you guys for the
Okay,
agenda.
yes, please.
Okay.
And you, this year Santa Claus no come to you.
Who's gonna be, is it gonna be Tony?
I think we're almost done. I sent flowers to Gary's
Thank
mom on behalf of the committee.
Thank you.
So I'll give you the receipt, I think, Jonathan, or I'm not sure who I give it to, somebody, yeah. So it's unfortunate. Gary, has been a real standard bearer for the committee and the American Legion.
He probably is very sorry, but he cannot make it because I have all his family.
Of course not, yeah. And so, his mother-in-law, who has actually been living with them for many, many years.
40 years.
Yeah.
He said-
It was like his mom, and she just passed last week, so.
I had scheduled a nurse for that afternoon.
Oh,
Bring
yeah.
her on.
Yeah, she was gonna go on the. She was helping.
Yeah, well, he came to the meeting last week and then excused himself, and she
I
died.
have two ladies, this lady and this lady, they were very hard for us.
Yeah. I will tell you, which I hadn't just because of my own, but through Lourdes, I contacted Catholic Hospice. My sister came, stayed with me because of her health was failing. And the hospice came in, she actually went in the hospital and the hospital said she can't leave. She's too gravely ill. And I said, it was her desire to die at home. And I called Lourdes and she had the hospice folks come and they were there. They were tremendous, really. I mean, they were there 24 hours a day for the last week that she was alive. And they really were, everyone that came was really.
And whenever we do an event, they don't know the word no, they always say yes, yes.
But I mean, really a class organization. I'd been involved with a hospice in another community and nothing like this. So if the day comes, I would just, one person's opinion, they were really great.
I was so
So
sorry that we didn't get there on time.
For Gary's,
We had an afternoon appointment with them. Our nurse was gonna go into it.
so the shirts, do we need to do anything with the shirts? Jonathan?
I know there was something about, the church being in excess of $700.
Yeah.
I think I'll communicate with you about like the memos.
Yeah,
I don't know anything further than that. but
okay, all right.
There they are.
Because it went over the $700 limit, it needs a approval.
These are quality shirts, I'm gonna tell you.
And
It's a nice.
just to hit that other point,
Yeah,
the
they're really nice. I love
the
them.
budget,
They're so
the
good now.
committee requesting the 19,950, that was approved.
Oh, it was?
Yes.
Oh, it was approved.
Yay.
Yes.
Approved in the working group, which will then be approved by the council.
And that's separate from the 10K for the battlefield costs.
But when you say approved, Mr. Peterman approved it?
All Claire told me was approved
Oh, okay.
when it comes.
Well,
to
that's good. That's good news. Yeah, Mario.
that.
Because the shirts were gonna be so expensive, I said, I don't know, it looks like we got a lot of stuff. It looks like a Boy Scout uniform. And Mario said, hey, I think the flags look good. And I'm like, all right. All right, so I think that covers everything. Judy, I'm sorry, do you have anything else with regard to the run that you needed to
No, I think
convey?
now we're good.
All right, And then was there anybody else?
It's gonna be the best.
Lourdes? Yes.
About 9/11 and 9/11.
I already confirmed them. They're confirmed.
All three events, are we gonna have some type of
We'll get
small
everything out.
sponsorship that I can start getting approved? Don't give large sponsorships, but I'll get approved for small sponsorships.
She needs some time, 2 or 3 weeks at least.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'll work through it for that.
really quick, I did get 2018 full beautiful files, 2019, not barely any.
Right, I saw your
So,
email.
Because I would like to get the more fresher, I mean, I'll go back to 18 too, but see what's fresh for the night, for the.
Yeah, Al and I are working. on
Okay,
that. I know.
And do you want to
to
help with sponsorship? I know probably you know some of them. There's a lot. There's more than I thought.
Oh, yeah, I can help you.
Okay, great.
All right.
You just let me
Oh,
know.
good.
Okay, so we'll talk about
All
our
right, okay,
next
Martha.
subcommittee meeting.
Anything? Martha, do you have anything? No? Pedro, do you have anything to
No,
add?
sir, thank you.
Mario?
I'll call you tomorrow. When I'm with William Monday, I'll call you.
Okay,
You know.
all right, I'll give you my number.
One last thing on behalf of Toyota, headquarters Toyota, I think that, with all we're doing in making this run, we should present the organization something symbolic in appreciation for doing this.
Yeah, excellent idea.
So, whether it be something for the showroom.
Yep, no, I think that's a wonderful idea.
Larry.
Okay, we'll take that on.
And we should take, if it's possible, too, for consideration. Because they have to.
Yeah, of course.
These folks, these young ladies.
All right.
also.
But we, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time tonight because we have a tight, so I make the motion to adjourn the meeting,
Second?
seconded by Pedro. Motion, and all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the meeting is now adjourned. What time is it?
7:33.
Oh, how about that, huh?
Not too bad.
Not bad at all.
Fine.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to call to order our August 18th meeting for the CAC committee meeting. And this was called specifically to discuss the Hispanic Heritage Month and an update on the fall book talk. So if Ms. Elsa, can you please do the roll call?
Oh, that's actually, I guess.
Is that you?
I'm
I'm sorry, I thought you were the secretary.
The secretary's back up this year. Okay, here we go. Charles.
Present.
Elsa. Present. Esther.
She wasn't on this committee, I don't think.
Yes, she
Everybody
was.
wasn't on the committee.
It's fine, this is, this doesn't count.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Right,
Okay,
right.
Felicia. Present. Carla. Norelis. Neil.
Present.
Is Nick still with us?
Who? I don't think so.
Okay, Suzanne, present, Madeline, Trinette.
Present. Okay, and we're moving on to public comments. I would like to introduce one of our soon-to-be new members, hopefully. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Shanitra Sanders, and I'm a resident here in the town of Miami Lakes. And I'm just excited this is my first committee that I'm joining within the town, so I'm excited to join and become a member.
Awesome. It's a great committee.
Welcome.
Can you tell us
Thank you.
a little bit about yourself? Who you are?
I married, my husband is a Miami-Dade County law enforcement officer. We have 2 children, 8 and 10. I have a master's in social work. I did a little bit work at Camilla's house and at a substance abuse treatment center. And I've also done some part-time work in reading intervention with the Miami-Dade County Public Elementary School System. And for the past 2 years, I've been home.
All right.
So,
Great.
and I love to write. So.
Oh, you like-
wow, we need
Inspired
you.
children's book.
We need you. We need
There
you.
we go.
Yeah.
Can you spell your
Welcome.
first name for me, please?
SHINETRA, last name Sanders.
And SAUND.
No, you, SANDERS.
You're welcome. So that's SHINETRA.
Yes.
Got it. And Shanitra Sanders.
There are lots of times.
Do you know who is your designee on the council? That's.
Councilman Colazo.
So any other public comments? Hearing none, we're going to move to the next item, and we're actually going to switch A and B. So we will start with the update on the fall book talk.
Oh, you are? Oh, okay.
Yes, because of the food. We don't want it to get cold.
Oh, I will.
I'm sorry, Elsa, I thought that was Susan.
Well, we're doing it together.
Oh, okay.
That's fine, that's fine. Suzanne and I are sharing this event.
Excellent.
Basically, what we've done is, we contacted the Miami-Dade Library, starting with the Miami Lakes Library. And I went to see her and she called me and we had a Zoom meeting, the 4 of us, and we were trying. And Suzanne tried to reach out to the author of the Red Umbrella and she wanted to charge $1,500 to be present. You know, it's expensive.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden I remember that my daughter, Maddie, they have a book club and they invite authors to their book club. And one of the ones that they had invited was from the henna artist. Her name is Alka. And so in Instagram, my daughter put me in touch with her and we went back and forth. And she'll love to do it for us, but it'll be done virtually, not in person. Because the problem is, this is an internationally known author. I mean, she even has a book coming out in April. It's a trilogy. The third one is coming out in April.
She's a New York Times bestseller.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
They're making this.
I have read both of her books, you know, and it's wonderful because it talks a lot about India and their culture, and it really gets you, you know, very interested in there. So the only problem is she didn't have any date in September. So then she suggested, I said, well, do you have anything early October? So she suggested, she said she had open October 6th. So I just confirmed today with Isle that October 6th is available, the chamber.
Okay.
at night. So,
What time?
October 6th.
Well,
So-
what time?
Well, we're thinking of 7 PM. So then I just contacted her on Instagram and I'm waiting her response, so we can start publicizing it. And then I think what I need to do is also get whatever bio she wants right out.
Yeah.
To put out there, and then I'm gonna have her, get in touch with Io, so that way they can coordinate the virtual, the Zoom. The only thing I asked her, because then I thought, oh my goodness, I better find out if she charges anything, So when I asked her, she says, no, the only thing that she requires is that 10 people be present at the
Okay.
talk.
We can do that.
So we have to make sure that everybody who's in the committee
At least show
shows
up,
up
yeah.
that night.
The general committee, yes.
Yes, everybody, the members of the committee, and then
Maybe bring a
hopefully
friend.
they could bring a friend, to come along.
Spouse.
Because
Or
she
somebody
needs
just
to
bring a
be,
bring
she
a
needs
bu-
to see the text.
Somebody up on the way.
I know. So then, Suzanne.
So now,
You're-
the next part is we want to
Yes.
make it very authentic, so it'll be a hybrid, so we'll all be there, but she'll be zooming in.
Okay.
And we thought it'd be fun if we had a little food for the guests, just little things.
Right, so can we make the first motion then, Elsa, to have it moved from September to October and then have it held via Zoom with,
With the artist. Yeah. I make a motion that we have our author, Alka, virtually, for the fall book club. And then move the day from September 21st to October 6th.
Okay, anybody second?
right?
Second.
Charles?
So she will be discussing which book? Or-
Yeah,
Both.
well,
Okay, both.
she'll be
And
talking
maybe
about
even
both
about
books,
the third book.
but at the same time, she'll be.
Welcome, good, how are you?
Singing a while.
The perfumery,
And maybe
yeah.
others. Right. So we have in the budget how much is in the budget for this? The 21-22 said 750, but I don't think there's quite that much.
Let me see.
What were you asking, sorry?
The book
How much
talk,
is the budget?
You
How much-
guys technically don't have a budget yet. But,
right, but
because
last
that's for the
year.
next fiscal
I thought
year.
we had $250.
October starts a new fiscal year.
Oh.
Right.
But you can kind of go based off of what you previously had. You'll probably most likely get at least what you
Well,
previously had last year.
21-22, it says 750, that sounds like a lot.
Because remember that
remember,
includes Santa
We
Claus.
combined it with the Santa.
Right.
But this one, when I looked it up, is 250.
250, okay, 250. So this is some food from
Oh,
three
hold on, wait,
different
wait, sorry, Susan,
restaurants. We
before-
have
Susan, before we move, we have to finish. So you
Yeah.
motion, Charles second.
oh, did you?
Any discussion?
Anyone against?
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anybody against? Okay, motion passes unanimously.
So
Go
this
ahead.
item will now be referred to the full
The
committee,
fall talk.
CAC committee.
Yeah, so has to go in front of the full committee.
Oh, there's some.
Great.
committee, that's right.
The subcommittee will
Because
make
it's
your
just-
recommendation to the full committee. So that's great.
Okay. so that's it. Okay,
Okay.
Susan, you may proceed.
Okay, I'm just trying to go quick because I know you have a lot to talk about in Hispanic heritage. So the Indian cuisine, there's three different restaurants, the Mantra, the Taj, and Ellis's Desi Kitchen. Two are in Cooper City, one in Pembroke Pines. So they gave me a variety of different foods to taste. We kind of wanted to focus just on doing finger foods and maybe having it something sweet. And the one that has something sweet is this one. It doesn't look as appetizing as it did when I first picked it up. I was squished in the driving around, but these are sweet, and I thought maybe we could all have a little taste of it and see if you like them.
What is
and
the
if
one
and
right
if you
there,
like
right
them.
there? In front of that empanada,
These
looks like
are not
wonton.
sweet, nothing else is sweet, everything else is potato, hummus, there's different spices that they would give us dips.
Right.
This is also very sweet, so these are the sweets and these are the
In there?
more of the potato
Oh, check.
and hummus.
Yeah, Felicia was just saying that one of her neighbors who goes to the farmer's market, they're from India. And they do desserts. You can check with them.
They're mostly American desserts, but she's Indian, she's authentic Indian.
Oh, well, if she's
Maybe
saying
we
American
can-
desserts.
No,
that's not
maybe I
really-
can ask what she's doing in Indian desserts.
Make it herself.
She's a great baker.
Maybe, they're very complicated.
I'll
They
ask
have
her.
recipes
I
in the
told
back of the
her,
book.
no,
So
that's
I'm just gonna
But
put a
anyway,
little-
if not, that restaurant is pretty good. It's what, $7.99, right? For what you're
Yeah,
showing us?
and you get 7 or 8 pieces.
Yeah, we'll
You're gonna
come up.
taste it, right? And you wanna pass these out to everybody?
I can finish.
And then we were thinking also, if we want to have wine, and we have wine, right? Yeah, okay.
At the book reading?
Yeah, if we want to have wine, what we'll do is everybody donate a bottle of wine. Yeah. From the committee.
From the
can
community.
have
Because we
your
don't
wine.
have wine. I have plenty of wine.
There's-
I can ask Grace, what kind of wine they do.
No, don't complicate. We like a
Regular wine.
There's one wine bottle,
They
you're
drink
going
the
to
same
bring
kind
it
that
in
we
the,
do.
from last year's book. That's, it hasn't been touched.
But it hasn't been kept cool or hot.
It's,
In the air conditioning,
same,
okay,
yeah.
because if not, it goes bad. Okay, yeah,
I
that's
think
fine.
there's a
if
lot
you
of
guys want to take a
cinnamon.
look at it,
Yeah, that's fine.
it's yours, that's why.
Yeah, that's
Have a
fine.
good evening.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
think so. I think I remember that. But anyway, I think we could everybody
Great.
bring whatever they like
Whatever
to
that's it.
drink in the wine, and we'll bring a wine.
Sounds great.
So
Can we
do you
move
wanna
on?
go ahead and
Are we gonna?
this is something that,
No, let the committee,
No, all right.
they can recommend what they like. And then we can move on.
Yeah,
Well-
Whatever you all decide.
yeah,
it'll be
we'll
great.
decide, we'll
Okay.
decide.
You know, y'all go
We'll
ahead
decide
and do that.
between us.
Okay, Hispanic Heritage Month. Let's
Yeah,
do
so
that,
the next
please.
item will be, item A, Hispanic
so
Heritage.
are we gonna make a recommendation to the general committee then that we spend how much?
250.
Yeah, guys, make the
Yeah, let's
motion
make
and
the
then second it and do a
motion.
Okay, go ahead.
discussion.
Before you- Okay, so I'll make a motion that one of these restaurants, either the Montrtage or Ellis's, that we purchase the food not any higher than $250 for fall book talk.
We have some tumblers.
Anybody second the
for
motion?
the wine.
Okay, Felicia seconded it. Any discussion?
The tumblers for the wine, you have them, Suzanne, right?
Yes, I have the
Okay.
tumblers.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any nays? Anybody against? No, okay, motion passes unanimously.
And then we'll,
As you can see, with 250, we can't get a physical author in town, impossible. Because they ask for a lot of money. Anyway, I think if this works, this would be great because we really could get some incredible authors to come on board.
really promote this. Like we've done all lately, I mean, we've had a good turnout.
we're also looking for a henna artist, but
Ah, yes,
Check-
they
check
showed,
with,
you know how they do.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Make
make
that
the- I'm sorry, I just want to keep you guys on track for the sake of the video and the
I'm
notes.
telling you, we gotta
Make the
work it out.
motions and then discuss.
Okay, well, the second item is, are we gonna talk about the henna or no?
No, let's
I guess
talk
that's the
about
motion
Hispanic.
that could be proposed, but now is the moment before you move on to Hispanic heritage.
So Susan,
Never
do you
gave
wanna
it a chance.
propose the motion to the, for somebody for henna or?
when we meet in the general, if I find somebody, I'll let you know at the general meeting.
Alright,
Okay.
alright, moving
At this
on.
point, we haven't found anybody.
Please.
Alright, so moving on to item number 8, number 4A, the Hispanic Heritage Month event.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Where are we?
Where are we? What's the update?
Okay, so, I also found some quotes from Francisca.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got great
Here,
food.
take some, take
Great
something
food.
out. of here.
I gotta get it.
Just for clarification.
Does anybody have water?
Alright,
I hear in
Just for clarification, that this year we're going to be celebrating the Venezuela
yes,
diaspora,
this year,
right?
yes, the country that we're gonna be highlighting for Hispanic Heritage Month is gonna be Venezuela.
All right,
It was approved from before.
Right.
So, country.
all right.
Yes.
Um,
And the idea was to have typical music, maybe some type of food, either like a full meal or some finger foods.
could we reach out to Doral, because they are a large Venezuelan population over there, and they've got restaurants, they've got.
Right, I mean, let's wait for Elsa to come back, because
Okay.
she actually reached out
Oh,
to
great.
Francisco, which is like the local,
Yeah, it's right here. Around the
I
corner.
believe they're Venezuelan.
Yeah, they are.
Yes, okay.
I met the owner maybe a month ago. I just happened to be there and he came in because they have the original restaurant in Doral.
Yes. And then I also went ahead and found, he does gelatos and he was telling me he's Venezuelan and he can create something for us, like for 100 people and bring his gelato with the flavors from like Venezuela. So that's another option.
That'd be great.
I'm sorry. My tongue was on fire. Suzanne, this is
I guess we can't
It's
have
supposed
that.
sweet.
sweet. Hot?
It's hot.
Well,
Well, anyway,
it's
so what
spicy.
we're talking about?
Right, so I was telling Charles, because he was asking about reaching out to Doral, because there's a lot of vendors and that are from Venezuela. But you actually reached out to Francisco, which is local.
Yes, right here down the corner, I
Yeah,
found out that
great.
Francisca, they're Venezuelan.
yes, yes.
So I went by and I stopped and I spoke with the manager, super nice.
The
And,
food
you know,
delicious.
Yeah, and what we
Food
were
is incredible.
saying at one of the meetings, Aya, that we need to promote the restaurants from our area, help them out.
Right.
So anyway, finally, you know, I went through different things, so they sent me their typical, and I said, I just want 50, 50, 50, 50, like platters of
Okay.
50. So the individual arepitas, the pan de uno, the bread, the pequeños, the empanada tía. And then they also can do like a quarter chicken, if
Very
they go
good.
by rations, so the chicken they'll cut it in,
It's
Well-
incredible. Their chicken is just
Yeah.
superb.
and then they'll combine it with platanitos and
Mhm.
coleslaw. The only thing is that we have to give them the platters. We threw away the platters from the symphony.
Oh, you have to give them the container in which.
Yeah,
to
they
put
don't
food?
have platters. We have to give them the metal or the plastic ones.
But we can get that from Amazon.
Party City Center.
Yeah, so we need to get those for
All
them.
right, so,
And then they'll put them on that.
The
So
drink.
the bottom line is they gave us a VIP discount, which I told them there has to be
How
a
much?
better VIP discount than this. But anyway, they're gonna work with us. But right now, their quote is $738.72.
$738, 32 cents.
Right, and that would be like 50 arepitas, 60 of the pan de bono, 50 pequeños, 60 empanadas, and 40 of the chicken, and 120 platanitos. We could add on to that if we want to, but that's just to have an idea.
And that's for
About
50.
drinks.
And
What?
that's for a
How
group
about
of
drinks?
50?
What do you mean drinks?
I don't know.
I think so.
Is that
What kind of
for
drinks and what?
50
The
people?
what, I'm sorry?
Is that amount of food for 50?
50, 50.
For 50 people, 703,000.
For 50. I told her if she had any warmers, but I think I could borrow some, because I would like to put the chicken and the platanitos on those. You know, like we do the warmers.
Party
with the-
City has all that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
but
got those
why-
long
why-
aluminum pans or whatever, they put it in there and cover it up and
I'm sure
and
that I
put
could.
sterno
I
on
could
it and
get
keep it
someone to
going.
lend them
That would work.
to us.
Because I tell you, the other thing that they have is exceptionally great is fish. They have a
Fish.
whole fish
Oh, I saw the.
and it
menu,
wraps
the
around
menu, the
and
fish.
it's incredible.
Yeah. I saw
Really,
it.
very, very good. So
So, you
let's do
know,
it.
I
That sounds
thought, you
good.
know, the price-
738.32.
738
Yeah.
That's for 50 people.
for 50 people.
I think it's good because they're part of Miami Beach.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean,
Exactly.
we probably could get another vendor, but because they're here.
Francisco's.
Francisco.
Right here on the corner.
It's in the corner.
Right here on the corner of Miami Lake,
Yeah,
67th
I-
Avenue
I'm
and Main Street.
But these things don't need to be
No, I'm
hot,
saying.
but the chicken and the platanito, I would like to put them on a
Yeah.
warmer would be nice.
So
Okay.
once you guys confirm that invoice, make sure to send it to me,
Yeah.
the W-9, so we can process the payment.
Now,
So-
how many people would we projected we would have this year for this event? Because the last one that we
It was
did
packed.
was jam packed with people.
Yeah,
And again,
Nicaragua,
Yes, oh, the
Colombian-
Nicaraguan was just
no,
incredible,
Colombian-
just.
the
Colombian.
oh,
Colombian was
The
the one that
Colombian
was
one was
packed with
packed.
people. In
I remember
Nicaragua,
Colombia, we had over 100.
Where's the
Yeah,
venue?
we had over 100
Right here?
Isn't the venue here in town?
Yes.
Okay.
Gonna be right here in the chambers.
So you're talking about food and have you already talked about?
Yes, and so I also looked for the desserts and he's also, he actually brings a lot of his gelato desserts. And I think he also sources out to Francisco actually. So he's Venezuelan and he told me he can
Okay.
prepare like cups or popsicle for us with the flavors from the typical Venezuelan
We
food.
can have
Great.
different colors of the flag.
I think the really good one is a great one. I think it's the best. He came highly recommended. So he sent me a quote and it's the total, because he included there the delivery, because they have to bring to serve the gelato. The whole thing, including the taxes, is $246.10.
Your taxes.
And how many people have served? Approximately
It's, I think items he put 60.
50 or
60.
60? Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna
Alright.
send you the tax exemption, so you can send it to
Oh,
us.
so if we get a tax exemption, then that would be
Yeah.
minus $16.
Oh, yeah, and here too, because you put tax on this.
I'll send it to both of you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's $54 for the
7%.
tax. Wow.
Excellent.
Well, Mary, with the
Well-
tax we save, we can get more food.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion if I could, please.
Go ahead, sir.
I'd like to move that we use Francisco
Francisca.
to provide the food for the event. And the number of people may be from 50 to 100. If it's
Okay.
over, if it's 100, we would have to double it, it'd be almost $1,500.
Correct.
So I would make that motion. And second part of that motion would also mean that we would recommend that the dessert would come from, what's the name of the company? The guy there,
Vendor.
the vendor?
Bosco Frozen Desserts.
Bosco?
Bosco.
Bosco.
Bosco. Remember that? They used to have Bosco many years ago, Bosco.
Chocolate syrup.
So that is my motion.
I'll second that motion.
All right.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, let's vote. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So the motion passes unanimously.
How's, do you do it, you're gonna do event break on this?
Yeah, so what was the amount you guys were agreeing to?
Can we lock it in at 75? Or you wanna keep it at 100?
I can do as much as you guys would like me to, or as little, you guys let me know. People usually, you always keep in mind that some people will always sign up and not show up. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, we have that in the.
That happened to the
That's
same.
it, for
Yeah.
this next year, don't got it.
So don't cap it at all?
Yeah, but I think this
Or you
needs
wanna
to be kept because it's inside, it's in the
Look.
chamber.
Yeah.
So my motion
Yeah,
was
and the occupancy
from
there
50
is
to
100.
100 people.
Okay,
So that's encapsulated in my motion, which is just passed. So will it be 100 people?
So we
And
cap it
again-
at 100?
Yeah. And if we need to, go back and, because the Eventbrite tells us that we've
How many
got
we-
300 people have responded.
And half of
Yeah,
them-
But we don't have capacity. for 300
I know,
people.
I'm just using that as I'm throwing it out there.
they don't come, but what is?
And so the other thing we would do as part of that motion was that the dessert, $246 is for 60 people.
Yes. we put-
And then if we need to increase that up to the 100,
Okay.
then we would, make that probably for,
So food not to
Or what?
exceed $1,600?
what is the maximum we have in that line? I don't have the budget
I
with me
didn't bring
tonight.
mine.
technically, you guys don't have a budget for that.
I know,
just
but
yet.
October.
But
it's
based
not-
off of
Last
this
year. What
year
do we
that
have
we're
last year?
currently in.
This current year, rather.
You guys had $3,000
All right.
for budget.
So not to exceed $2,000 this year. That's part of my
If you
motion. Can I
double
get
it,
a
that's how
second
much
on
we
that?
have.
I
That
second,
close.
Mhm.
Madam Chair,
I
I
second.
move that we not to exceed $2,000 for
For the food.
for the food for a Hispanic celebration.
And
Uh,
Elsa
with-
seconded.
It was been seconded by Elsa.
Any discussion?
So then you're talking about when I order from Francisca, I would order for 100, the
Right.
platters of 100.
Exactly.
Depending on how many people register.
Yeah, let's see how many.
But we can be pretty.
And then when
I
you do
think we
the
have a-
list of the events, that
Like we
page
did.
that we have
That's
to write down,
wonderful,
we
really
have to
good.
make sure that we purchase in the platters.
Mhm.
What was the total amount that you said, so I can write it down?
Last year, this current year, you guys had $3,000.
So now we have about 1,000 left for entertainment?
Yeah, because if I double this, would be like $1,400.
Yes, if we double the ice cream and the food, it'll be $1,969.64, based on the quotes they gave us.
Yeah, so it's $2,000. Okay,
Okay, we're done with discussion?
Yes, all, we both vote.
Hold on.
On the food, yeah, I have,
Okay, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody against? Motion passes unanimously.
Now,
okay.
what you
My
start.
question is, normally we have a feature artist,
Mhm.
Venezuelan artist, we can have one, maybe two. We have a lot of wall space to do that. And the music, I've been trying to find out the local group, but.
Yeah, it was difficult because I was trying to find, for us to have like a typical dancers
Yeah.
and then maybe like music afterwards, like we did for the Colombian one.
Yeah.
Well, I say we, but I just attended you guys. were
Yeah.
But it was really good. So were you able to find?
Yes.
Okay.
You did?
Yeah.
You did? Awesome.
I asked Elizabeth, the one that's gonna be the new
Yes,
member,
okay.
to see if she knew
Oh, right,
anyone.
okay.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she directed me to Bobby Ramirez,
Ooh,
Okay.
wow.
that he does a lot of the Cuban and Brazil and whatever. So I spoke with him. And he has some good ideas. He said he has this lady that will come dressed with the colors, and she
Okay.
even has this outfit that is the Americas, with all the different flags of the Americas. And then he will be willing to do 2 sets of 30 minutes each with the typical Venezuelan folkloric music.
Great.
Perfect.
However,
What is it,
However.
Corojo? Is that
what?
what they call their typical music?
They're called, El Cuatro.
Like cuatro?
Yeah, but this will not be El Cuatro per se. El Cuatro is like live, that's live music. No, this will be, he will be taping.
This is like a
the
DJ.
music. Like sort of like a DJ type thing, yeah.
And the
And he
lady-
said he will bring the drums, you know how they do the Brazilian with the
Oh, yeah.
drums? He will bring the drums
We
too.
want it to be as.
Authentic as possible.
2 sets, 30 minutes.
Okay,
each.
however, this is the thing, October 8th, he says is a horrible day. Apparently, there's a lot of events going on October 8th. So October 8th, he can only do it in the afternoon, he cannot do it at night.
What time is our?
Is there another date?
Huh?
Is there another date?
October 15th, he said he's wide open on the 15th of October.
Have we really
And
publicized?
it gives you a
it
break,
that
it
much
gives us
yet?
a break from the book talk
Yeah.
too,
Mhm.
if
That's
it's
right.
available.
This is a whole week. So that means it's a Thursday?
No, October 15th is
Is
a
a
Saturday.
Saturday.
No, the book talk is on a Thursday.
Yeah. book
It is a
talk, fine.
Saturday.
But Saturday worked really well for us.
Have we sent out anything? Or
No.
we haven't, right?
All right, so the date is still open there.
We're moving.
As long as
I make a motion that we pick it to.
Let's wait and see
I'll
what
second the
Al
motion.
said. You have to see what Al said.
Yeah,
first.
yeah, it's
Steps down.
as long as the
Oh,
chamber
I
is
was
o-
out.
is available, that's
Yeah.
the thing.
Mhm.
Because what time is the event normally from?
Usually
seven-
from 6
Yeah,
to
let's see, was
9,
it
6 to
Yeah,
9.
6
somewhere
to
like
9, yeah, I think we did it last time.
that. I like this guy, he's very good, he's got.
Bobby
Now,
Ramirez.
he
Bobby
really,
Ramirez,
he really can
Ritmo.
provide
Art.
authentic
Ritmo.
Venezuelan stuff. We
He's,
wanted
that's
to
why he
make
told
sure.
me that he will make sure that he puts the authentic folkloric Venezuelan music.
Alicia, would you ask Elsa to pass that down so I can get the exact name?
You?
Al, could you check to see if the chamber would be available for the 15th
I already confirmed it for a certain date. Let me check.
and the
For the
8th? We
8th,
had
we confirmed
already
it for
picked.
the 8th. But the music and the entertainment that we're looking at, he says the 8th is packed with events in Miami that day.
Caliente.
So he's open on
He
the
sounds like
15th.
an artist. It's like salsa singer or something.
He's gonna double check.
Okay,
Nice
okay.
pictures.
So we
Well-
can make a motion.
Well, I think Felicia made the motion. I seconded it.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Felicia made a motion.
The motion to select
Yes,
October
I know.
5th, Saturday, October 5th.
15th.
The 15th, I'm sorry, the 15th, from 6 to 9 PM for our
Hispanic
Hispanic
heritage.
Heritage. Event.
Okay, and Neil seconded.
And I seconded it, yeah.
Any discussion? At what time, sorry? 6 to 9.
6 to
6 to
9.
9.
We're gonna vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
So now we have to pick an artist.
How much they charge you, Sandy?
Oh, $300.
For
That's like a
30
DJ
minute
pretty
sets,
much.
Huh?
for 2 30-minute sets.
2 30-minute sets, the drum men are
Wow.
coming and the lady
300?
all dressed in the thing.
For my next birthday party.
Yeah, he's cheaper than the DJ.
And I said, the ladies dress decently, right? She goes,
Wow.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I said, "No, don't bring me those dresses with a naga, you know, like a bus." The men would be happy.
So
She
do
said,
we,
no, she's very decent. Elsa, don't
so
worry.
let me ask you, in town hall, we have also capabilities, like if we want to put Venezuelan music playing throughout.
And then I told him that, I said, well, then if we want to bring Carlos Vive, you know, the typical Venezuelan.
He's Colombian.
Oh, who's the one from Venezuela? I thought Vives was.
Oscar de Leon.
Who?
Oscar de Leon.
Oh, Oscar de Leon. Well, you know, I can.
Yeah,
work
we can
with
put
him.
the music on.
Popular
Oh.
Venezuelan music.
Exactly.
Right,
So
and
from-
all their folkloric stuff, we could just have it playing in the background, and then he comes on, does a set. and
Right.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Well, yeah, the main
Yeah,
thing
always
I would
background.
suggest that we
Mhm.
consider making sure that the authentic Venezuelan presentation that evening, at least an hour of, we can see
Okay,
stuff, see
but see,
people.
that's what we're
And
looking
now, so you
for.
said 30 minutes
Yeah,
set,
but
right?
that's what we're looking for, but we haven't found that.
Mhm.
Because that's what we had for Colombia,
Yeah.
that's what we have from Nicaragua,
Yeah.
because I found
Oh,
those people. from
You
Nicaragua.
found them.
Yeah, and they come and
Yeah. it was
that,
beautiful.
that we
was-
haven't found for Venezuela. Right now, we just have the music part of it. So we have to maybe research it a little
If we can
more.
find like the dancers that come with their dresses.
That's what
Yeah,
we
that's what
have.
we really
That we
like.
have for
That would
Colombia, we
really-
have for Cuba, and we have for
Colombia,
Nicaragua.
Nicaragua.
We have
We
that.
found Nicaragua too.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
found
really good.
Nicaragua through
Throw a friend.
my daughter's mother-in-law.
Yeah.
in
Well, can she
Nicaragua,
reach
so
out again to?
But she's from Nicaragua, she
I'm
doesn't.
It's
sure
hard
that
because
she
if you know the
knows-
Colombians, you know you get.
We know it.
Venezuela, but I've been asking her, but just so busy. I'll ask her tomorrow.
Now, I did ask the restaurant people.
If they,
They said they had some, they would check maybe some
Musician?
musicians, they
Venezuela,
said,
they should know.
musicians, but I don't really think
They
there is
don't
a group.
a lot
We're
of
looking for a
festivals
folkloric
like that
group.
here, yeah.
That's what we're looking for.
I'm sure that, yeah.
Folkloric.
Perhaps, Kyle, could you reach out to the city of Dorav's special, special,
Call town hall or something.
yeah, call your
That's what I
counterpart
was
over
saying.
there.
Renee,
And
call
they
them
know,
us, the city and see.
What kind of,
And
how
go
to
on
reach
their
out to them.
page to see what
They,
I
they, you
find.
know,
Yeah.
we're looking for a folkloric group.
Right.
That's what we're looking.
Right.
Like the
Yeah,
dancers.
we can
Because
start
it-
folkloric
because
group
the
and then invite
Doral
popular
is
music group for
almost
the dance.
90%, I would think,
They can do it.
Venezuelan, from the elected
Whatever
official
music we have.
to the residents over there. So I'm sure that they know. And I tell you, the other places that they have, it's called, I think it's called like Town Center, where not corporate, but where their town hall is. And they have a lot of restaurants and things in
You
there.
mean in the rock?
Yeah,
There's Doral City and Doral Town Center.
the center,
The center.
the one over there where,
Where the building. the
Cooper
culture-
Hawk, you know where Cooper Hawk is?
Cooper's
around
Hawk,
third-
that's Doral
Right,
City.
right behind there, they have all kinds of
Yeah.
restaurants in there.
Yeah, that's Doral City.
City,
Center,
okay.
yeah.
That's, yeah,
Because the town is where they're building the culture affairs
yeah.
building.
Everybody's doing it.
All right.
Okay, just for clarification, Felicia, your motion included the $300 to spend on Bobby Ramirez, right? Ritmo. Or was that to change the date?
To change the
No, you
date.
changed the
That
date.
was to change the date.
Yeah, so Ritmo we haven't voted on. Nobody's made a motion.
Would you like to make the motion on Bobby Ridmo?
Oh, yeah. I'd like to make a motion that we choose Bobby Rizmo for his music.
Bobby Ramirez.
Yeah, as far as
Yeah,
music
Ritmo, yeah.
And up to 300.
with the ceiling about $300, not to exceed $300.
Anyone second the
I'll
motion?
second that.
So do you want me to ask him for other things that he could include?
Yes. We wanted to be a real festive evening.
Right.
Yeah, like Colombia.
Yeah.
But what made it awesome
Colombia
was the
was like
music.
wild.
And it
Yeah.
had alcohol because we had like
No.
aguardiente.
Oh, well, that's the
Aguardiente is
next
what they
thing.
had to the Colombian.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Venezuelans like whiskey.
Okay.
That's my coworker, he said, you gotta have whiskey.
But that's what made the event so much fun, because everybody was drinking aguardiente and we had good music.
Now we know.
Yeah,
Colombians like, aguardiente, Venezuelans like whiskey.
Okay, so Charles made the motion, Susan seconded, any discussion?
Yeah, well, I need to just clarify
Mhm.
when I speak with him so that he could give me a breakdown. So we're okay with the lady dressed in the typical, okay, all right.
And
The
children.
drums, okay, because that makes it light. And the two sets
Of 30 minutes.
of 30 minutes, but this would be of the typical folkloric Venezuelan music.
Correct.
Yeah, everything,
Okay,
Everything, we want everything.
everything.
Folkloric,
Just,
popular.
okay, so we want folkloric, we want popular too, okay.
And I've asked Al to reach out to her counterpart over in Doral to see if
If they
they
can get
know,
the
if they know
folkloric.
somebody.
Find out. I'm But- gonna share with you guys right now the link to their communications department, which will be the closest to us, and then you guys can reach out to them to see what they say, okay?
The
Yeah. we
Special
also need,
Projects Administrator, do they have?
But they have communications, which is like our department,
Yeah, but,
special
most,
projects.
most larger cities have something called a special project administrator
I'm looking at it.
who do that. The county has it, Miami-Dade County. And, oh, you know what, I can do, I'll call, Miami-Dade County, they
Culture
call it.
affairs?
No, it's called Hispanic
Oh, okay.
Department, just like we have Black Affairs,
Right.
they got a
Oh,
Hispanic.
yeah, check.
And then I can check with them to see if they know
A folkloric group.
for Venezuela.
So Venezuela, we want to
Yeah.
come and perform.
I'll check that tomorrow.
Okay, check with that. So then the music, you want me to go with Bobby Ramirez then?
Bobby
Yeah,
Ramirez.
unless we can add to it, because again, they're only gonna do 1 hour,
Yeah.
two 30-minute sets.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be here
cover.
from 6 o'clock to
Yeah.
9 o'clock.
Okay,
cover
well,
the-
So I
you
gotta
know,
find something else that we can fill in that time with, you know, so
but
again.
he could do more than an hour. if we want him to.
And then it'll
Well,
be
I'm just,
600.
what I was trying to do is see if we had something
Yeah,
else to
something to
blend,
incorporate, yeah,
you know.
incorporate.
Exactly,
Yeah,
so we would
yeah.
have a lot of diverse activity going on, but
Exactly.
still it's authentic Venezuelan celebration.
Okay,
So I'll call the county tomorrow. Hispanic department.
Right, and to fill in the gaps, we can always have the music playing with like
Yeah, the
typical Venezuelan music,
Or
or salsa
additional-
from like
Yeah.
musicians that are Venezuelan.
For additional
Because
music.
those are the people.
the
It
salsa,
it would be
yeah,
just
like-
great to, you know, everybody moving and.
So maybe I should have him think of that he'll come in with the lady and the drums and whatever, and that would be a
Another
new
set,
set of
yeah,
music.
and then something
Then
else,
at the, yeah, towards the end or whatever.
They
we
could
do
come
the
back and do another
folkloric
set.
one. Okay.
and then we'd have something
Yeah,
else,
so
but
it'll be two
again,
completely different things that we
Mhm.
could have, the livelier music, the more modern, when the ladies and the drum come in, and then the more.
Well, we want
Yes,
toward
sir.
the end to have the popular. So people dance.
So
Yeah.
people
They
sing
let the
dancing.
car dance.
yeah, we wanna dance.
I just said, we need to leave about 45 minutes for dancing.
Right.
That would just about cover it.
Yeah.
We don't want them performing all the way till 9 o'clock.
Right.
By 8 o'clock, we should, maybe from 8 to 9 is a dance time, because a lot of people start leaving near the end.
Right.
Right.
The dancers are the ones that are probably. They
Yeah,
don't want to keep going.
The dancers.
all right.
Is anyone in particular going to follow up on the link that I was sending us?
I can go ahead.
Yeah.
Renee, go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the food, I got the
Link to
music.
community.
See, you
You're
have help.
superstar,
You said you
Elsa.
weren't gonna get help, you have help.
I didn't say that. I was just like, how did I end up being chairman? My question, but that's fine.
Uh,
All right, so this is the end of the discussion then, and I guess we're gonna move forward on Charles' motion. And Susan seconded. So we didn't vote.
So then it looks like we can spend a little more than $300
Oh,
with this
yeah.
guy, right?
And there's
Yeah.
Let's see what we can
Oh
do.
my gosh. yes.
Let's see what we can do,
Yeah.
based on what we just.
What we
You
just,
need it.
we kind of
You
said,
already
we've
have
done a
it.
good job of bringing that
I think
information to us.
I think so.
But we just really wanted to
Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't know. what
really
committee this
showcase
was.
him.
Exactly.
Do you have an
know,
I would say if it starts at 6 o'clock, then maybe the drums and the lady can come in closer to 7, because by the time everybody settles in.
Fill it in with all the minutes.
Now you gotta
Has all
look
the
into the
numbers.
link.
Okay.
But I can also look into the future artists, you know, the painters.
All the painters, yeah.
Are we gonna have the stage or does he set up his stage where he's gonna dance?
We used to have like a little,
platform.
We have
Oh.
one in-house, but it's very small.
Yeah.
So if you want to be safe, I would ask them what they require in terms of space. And then I'll check with what we have. If that's not enough, then we can rent one. Or you could just have them on the ground, whatever you guys decide.
But the last time I just had a little ride.
that's what we had. just a
Yeah,
little-
but it's really small, so it has to work for them.
It's the one that we use for the Colombian, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
good.
good.
Yeah, we use that for
Yeah,
the
well-
Colombian, they work.
The other thing I'd like to suggest, Madam Chair, is I'll reach out to Mayor Sid and ask him to invite the mayor of Doral and their elected officials.
That's true.
Because they're all Venezuelans. And ask them to join us that evening in celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, because we may be the only municipality that's celebrating
Their country.
their country that for Hispanic.
Yeah, I think that would be, then they can.
And they can
They
spread the
publicize-
word.
They'll
too.
publicize and they'll show up,
Yeah, that's what we need.
because the mayor
Publicize that.
of Doral, believe it or not, lived here in Miami Lakes.
So he did. Who's the mayor now?
I can't remember his name, but he's bald, he's got a bald head, but
Yeah,
he's.
but you're thinking.
And then we went over
about-
to his office when economic development, we went over to his office to see the building. And
Was
it is so
Bermudez?
impressive.
I think it was Bermuda.
Well, Bermudez is no longer there. He's running for something.
Something else,
now.
yeah, but he was
Oh,
there.
no, I don't know. who- Yeah, I was thinking of Bermuda.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
again,
so back to the motion for using Bobby Ramirez for $300 for the 2 30-minute sessions, which was proposed by Charles and then second by Susan. No more discussion. We're gonna vote now. All in favor?
all right,
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
I'm gonna call him right away to make sure he doesn't commit for the 15.
No, no,
Mhm.
no,
and that's pursuing that
no.
I'll
You know,
make
look
that
into
date.
the artists.
available to.
Yeah, I can let you know by Monday.
Okay. So if we don't have that date, is there another date that we may need to look at?
Right now, I
In the
have it
event
on
that-
hold for you guys.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Yeah, because we were planning originally for the 8th, so
Yeah.
that one is confirmed if you
Right.
guys want it, but I'm checking for the 15th.
Okay. But again, the problem with the eighth is he's
Yeah.
not gonna be
well,
available.
then if not, then we have to look for
Something
somebody else,
else.
yeah. Someone else, because we don't wanna make it too late either in October, you know?
No, but we wanna
I
have a
don't,
great evening.
most likely the 15th is available.
I
Let me
think
just
so.
reconfirm.
I kind of like the 15th for the Hispanic, you know? It's always been like in the middle of
Middle.
the month.
Yeah.
And when we bring it to the full group, if we have to do an adjustment based on what we found out in the next 2 weeks, then we can increase or expand based on what we find and, because I think we're probably gonna need a little bit more money if we're gonna bring in the dancers and all those other people, probably.
Because right now we're at 2,300.
Right.
Speaking of, Suzanne asked me for a sponsorship package. So, just so you're aware, and I think we've touched base upon this, but just generally, not just cultural affairs, we're trying to make the package very generic so that we can kind of just copy and paste. Obviously, there will always have to be some adjustments for the bigger, newer events, but something to start off with, given that October 1st is the start of the new fiscal year, that's when we plan on having these new packets. Unfortunately, we don't have them ready just yet, but I will work on one specifically for this event, just so you guys have it ready for this event. I'm hoping to share with you within the next week. But just starting in October, I know that right now we're planning for that, but starting in October, once all those generic packages are in place, the idea is that any event that is not confirmed 3 months out will not have a sponsorship package to it.
Mhm.
Because we need to plan in advance to give our sponsors proper recognition and really, meet our deliverables and just to have a successful event overall. I only mention that because we've had a lot of last minute things put on the calendar and I don't think it's fair to anyone to do that. And just to look good really, well, we want to deliver to our residents. So just keep that in mind, but I will work on the one specifically for Hispanic Heritage Month to have it to you in the next week. Hopefully early next week I'll have it to you. With that said, do you guys want to have multiple sponsors or just one? What are you looking for? Like, what do you think would be a
The
good?
more the better.
If you have a lot, then it has to be very low amounts.
Hmm.
But
Maybe we might be able to find, if Venezuelan company.
Yeah.
Well, the
And I-
idea is
and
that I'll share the package with you guys as soon as I possibly can, so you guys can spread the word. If you have any contacts, if you think of anyone, and I'll share with whoever has previously come in as a sponsor.
When our mayor contacts
Mayor when Doral.
them and morale. you can ask
That's what I'll
You
ask
said
him.
the sponsor package
That's what I'll
should be
ask
done
him to
3
do.
months
If he
prior.
finds a
What
Venezuela
was that, 3 months
Sponsor.
prior?
Events.
for the event.
If an event isn't confirmed 3 months in advance, then we can't, we can't plan for a proper sponsorship package for it.
The event is
At least confirm, right?
confirmed. 3
If you're not
months.
coming up with a
Right.
new event that's happening in a month.
The
Right.
event is.
And I'm sorry, I just heard you guys say something about the mayor inviting somebody. I just want to make sure it gets done, so.
I will
you
do
need
that. I
anything
will
from
take
me?
that responsibility. I have to speak to him about the issue tomorrow anyway. So I will ask the mayor for his involvement and to invite the mayor, especially the mayor of the city of Doral and other elected officials to come. And also if he's got some, there's a lot of Venezuelan, very wealthy companies.
They are.
And we can get the right people to make the request.
Right.
Again, we're celebrating
Of
Venezuela.
course, yeah.
So that's a great thing.
On YouTube, they have like a lot of videos with the music and the pictures from Venezuela, like we did for the Black Heritage
Gotcha.
Month. Maybe we put that on the screen,
Yeah,
and they can play at,
Like a little history of the country.
Yeah.
and then play the music from there.
yeah, that would be good.
That would be easy and nice, because it makes it look pretty.
Right, yeah, definitely, to be playing all the time. Yeah, you have to have somebody that will do that.
But you just put it on YouTube. 'Cause I do it in my house, and so you see it coming out like for an
No, but
hour,
what you
2
can do-
hours.
Because I'm subscribed to YouTube and I download what I like and it doesn't have any, it doesn't follow the.
Because you pay for it. You have it?
Huh?
You have a subscription?
Yeah, so I download any videos that I like, but it doesn't repeat
Without
whatever's
commercials.
next, it's very concise.
Yeah, so we can put a soundtrack or whatever, and it like pops up.
Yeah, I can download those. and do it.
They have very pretty ones. like with
Whoever
the
does
flag on.
whoever does that, for the town can help us with that, right?
Does
do
the
you
town
need
have a
exactly?
subscription to YouTube?
They want basically, while the event is going on, that the screens will show.
The screens or the music, because I'm confused about.
Both. It puts, like from YouTube, if you download one of the ones she's talking about, because she has a subscription, it'll play like the pictures from Venezuela, right?
Okay, because we can do that, we can pull it ourselves, but if there's something specific, which it sounds like you guys know exactly what you want, just send me the link and we'll work off of that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes
Because I can
sense.
download
And
it
then that we can use that while,
the-
he does his 30-minute sets. and
Yeah,
then we
just
can
if
have
you
a
get
dancer.
it to me, and it has to be a few days before the event, so I can have IT tested and make sure it sounds good and it plays.
Right, we can find one or two, like the ones that have 1 hour, 2 hours, right? But we don't have to do it the whole time. And when he's about to sing, we stop it.
Stop it.
He does it, and we keep it going.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we don't want the conflict
So,
with their music and this music.
No, we turn it off.
Or just
won't.
documentary. of-
It's no,
well, we got
it's like,
30 sets.
Yeah.
they put music, right, like the Venezuela music, and so you hear the music, you can have lively music, but then whoever made the video, you'll see on the background, like the lady with the face painted with the Venezuelan flag, horses, whatever it is, like from Venezuela, like
Cultural
scenery
stuff.
stuff.
Stuff
Yeah.
like they do.
Yeah, I like that, I like that. yeah.
So we can have a cultural videos.
Yeah.
From Venezuela, yeah.
about Venezuela, that would be good.
Yeah,
Again, and it keeps everybody engaged,
right, because you're there looking at the videos. and you're
Again, like I
listening to
said,
music.
is people learn about that culture, they eat the food,
Yeah,
they listen to the music, they see their artists, it's like a whole menagerie of things, so people learn. That's
Like
the whole
Epcot
idea.
Center, pretty much, entertainment with a little bit of.
And what about the
Education.
drinks? What are we gonna, are we gonna?
Okay.
Education and entertainment, that's.
We haven't talked about
Now
it.
you're stretching.
okay.
Exactly.
We have, if I remember correctly, this is a large budget for Hispanic celebration, if I remember correctly. It was.
5,000.
It's 5,000 this year?
Well,
I know, I
You
mean,
guys don't have, okay, just a reminder that you guys don't have your budget for the new fiscal
No, but
year
I'm
yet.
saying our current budget.
But the current one was $3,000.
Oh, 3,000.
With $700 left now, is
Right.
what we have left.
No, you guys
No,
are,
I'm talking right now as of
oh,
what
like
we-
career planning.
What we are planning.
Right, based
There's
on 3,000.
$700 left out of the 3,000
And we need the
for
The
additional
dancers.
entertainment that you were thinking of having.
But remember, the new budget starts October 1, so
But
we'll
this is
have
based
the
on the
$3,000 plus whatever else we can get sponsors for.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll cover that.
And drinks, what
And
are we doing
drink.
for drinks?
What, but this is whiskey, right? Whiskey is what.
That's what, whiskey can be expensive, might be.
No, if they come in and, you know,
Did they sponsor
It could be
that
a
sponsor
sponsor.
Aguardiente?
because they are the people were sponsored.
That's what I was saying,
Yeah.
because they brought a lot, and it looked like
You
they were
have to look,
sponsoring.
you have to look.
Yeah, and they didn't charge us anything.
No, because. it
What
was
is
from
the
over
And
there.
Venezuela?
and you remember when we did Cuba, when we did
Rome,
the Cuban diaspora, they brought in the soda company. didn't
Oh, that
charge
was
us.
cows.
Yeah, all the stuff they brought in was just free, because they really wanted to celebrate the Cuban
Well, that's what
culture.
we have to.
Which
find
one is
out.
the Venezuelan whiskey though? Or beer,
I don't
I
know.
think they have beer too.
We do have a beer.
Yeah, but you gotta keep it cool.
Everybody has a beer.
We have coolers if you need them, just let me know.
Yeah, we did, we did, so let's see.
We just need to find out what the.
All we
major-
need, I think, is a contact, a major contact into
Right.
the Venezuelan community, whether it's
That's
the
the key.
town
That's
of
the key.
Doral or whatever, because they know how to do
They
it.
would know,
Again,
exactly.
the fact that Miami Lakes is celebrating Venezuelan doing this Hispanic Heritage Month, I think that's gonna drive a lot of interest, and people will wanna come and be a part of it, because again, I don't know any other municipality who's just honoring them in the Hispanic
Right.
month.
So you're gonna be calling the contact in Durham?
Yes, well,
When you
Io
do-
said she has a link or something, I
Yeah.
can ask
A
them.
link.
I
So-
sent it to you guys.
So they can give us guidance, right, on the
Oh, yeah.
dancers, on your drinks,
And the drinks and the artists.
right, the
I can look
folkloric
into
dancers and the
it. Maybe
alcohol.
you can figure out, we can find out who's available or who wants to.
So the artists, who would want to display their art, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
So,
I'll take care of
So
Ritmo
we're
and
gonna have
Francisca, okay?
art display. Food. and drinks.
8:30.
Okay, so we're gonna move to adjournment?
Art
So
Yes, so-
before,
display,
we're gonna make a
drinks,
motion
music,
to
what else?
any additional entertainment, sponsorships will
What
be
else?
discussed at the next general
Our
meeting.
next general meeting, yes, I think that's a good
That's a
idea.
good idea,
Okay,
right?
so
Because we
Susan,
have
you're
some
making the
loose-
motion?
Okay,
All right, so Susan's making a motion. Oh,
you want me to say it? Okay. I'll make a motion then that any additional sponsorships, entertainment, anything else that we're adding to this celebration, artists, that we'll discuss it at the next general meeting.
I second that motion. Any discussion? Let's vote, all in favor?
Aye.
When is our next meeting?
the 21st of September? No,
The 22nd, it had to be moved. Thursday to September 22nd.
oh, we moved it.
We moved it, yeah,
Yeah,
September.
Because
22nd.
September's budget hearing, so there's a lot of,
Next.
So the 21st was not available?
no.
Is that budget hearing on the 21st?
September 22nd, you said?
I don't know what there is.
September 22nd.
7 p.m.
That's 7.
I thought I had asked for the 21st.
To move it into
They
the-
had something that had to be moved. And I think we spoke about the 22nd, because we went back and forth.
Yeah.
All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Hearing no opposition, motion passes unanimously. And then I guess our next item is adjournment, so we don't have any other points of discussion. I want to move to adjourn the meeting.
All right, second. Thank you, Madam
All
Chair.
in, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone
Thank
against?
you.
Hearing none, passes unanimously. So meeting is
At
adjourned
8:31.
at 8:31.
Awesome.
Hey, on time, we love it.
Hey.
We need it.